in the air. Oh, Michael! Now overshoots turn one.
Green. 3 wide with half.
They're running into each other left and right.
All clear, nice work. Outside on your bumper. All clear.
Seconds. 10 seconds, rather. Alright, welcome to Olympus Racing, Season 5, Round 2 of Zolder. I will be your commentator today, and I'm here with Shiv.
It's a pleasure to be here. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. And indeed, it is the Olympus Racing Round 2 here at Zolder. Currently, at the moment, we are gearing up as the drivers are warming up their tires for a hour and 15-minute race. It's going to be an exciting.
Indeed, it is. We have the prediction today is sunlight, so there's not looking like there's going to be any rain. The driver list today is looking pretty good.
Packed. Yeah, it's pretty packed.
Oh, pretty
It's
packed.
a full grid, and obviously, the more people there are, the more exciting racing tends to happen usually in most cases. So yeah, I would say, because watching qualifying, we did obviously have El Faster on pole, but not by much as well, because we did see that he was only about a 2 or 3/10 gap to second place, which is C. Hoffman for a Ferrari. But hopefully the gaps are as close and as small as possible, as we are going across the start finish line at the moment.
Let's see how they get off here. See who gets the advantage. Still corner 1 and 2.
See, as it stands, it is green, 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 and we are seeing El Faster go.
Oh, Cara got a really bad start.
A really bad start, I'm not too sure, but currently at the moment, El Faster getting pressured by C. Hoffman in the Ferrari, going down the inside, getting the better run. Who's got the terrible start? And it is, I think that is the BMW, the 711 BMW of P. Foldesi.
Yeah, the
That is
stewards
pretty
are gonna
unfortunate.
have to look at that after the race.
Speaking of looking at that, I mean, look at how the leader, El Faster, is actually just dropping places, actually been overtaken by Hoffman and Whitford. So the leader now into third place, now being challenged by, I think that is the Mercedes, the red Mercedes in the background, the number 5, yeah, the number 5, rather, it's not Mercedes, the number 5 Lexus of Kenny Powers. As Kenny Powers gets spun around by the number 6 Bentley of rather the number 6, the number 71 Bentley of S. Pasadenas. So he just got spun around. So they're gonna have to take a look at that. So Kenny does get back on track just behind Saranko in the number, I think, yeah, number 5 McLaren. No, that's not number 5 McLaren. That
Number
is
74, yes.
the number 74 McLaren, also behind the number 666 Aston Martin of Tom Hanks, or T. Hanks. I'm going to assume it's Tom, because obviously Tom Hanks being the famous pilot who landed the plane in the Hudson River, if I'm not mistaken. But currently as it stands, M. Whitford in the number 86 McLaren, leading this race behind C. Hoffman, who was putting a lot of pressure behind El Faster in third position at the moment. So he was obviously pole man, warming up the tires, but I think a really bad start for him caught him out, and now he's up and down into third place, the Aston Martin driver.
Yeah, that was a really bad start from the lap 1. There was a lot of incidents.
Speaking of, I mean, we have El Faster going down for the move on the Ferrari, taking back that second position, and now going to be chasing M. Whitford in the number 86 McLaren. He may have shown one lap pace now he's showing his true race pace at the moment. So that, you know, black and blue Aston Martin in that British colored, I guess, not colored, but more so pattern stripes, is now chasing after number 86 McLaren. So maybe a bit of a bad reaction, but he's really gaining those places back. Sorry to you.
I mean, it's definitely as it should be right now, because the pros are in the top. Well, except for Caro and Foldesi there that had a little bit of a bad incident in the start.
It does happen sometimes where we see a lot of racing drivers. They do get a bad start, but that, I think, really reflects their true pace. And I'm not sure if they can come back, because there's a difference between, you know, being good in one lap, and then there's a difference between being good lap after lap after lap. But currently, as it stands, El Faster in the number 27 Aston Martin, 2 seconds adrift from the leader, lap 2 at the moment. So this is all happened in one lap. We have A Petit, the first pit stop in the number 97 McLaren. Is that damage? It looks to be. There's a
I
lot
think
of
he's
wear.
going to stop and repair damage and get rid of one of his pit stops early. And then the last pit stop might just be a stop and go.
We have seen a lot of drivers take these tires for hour lengths. Obviously, unlike in Formula One, where tires and repairs are mandated, here you can just go for stop and go. If you don't want to change tires, you can make the tires last the hour. But the issue is that
They're going to be
there are
really
so
slippery
many-
at the end.
yeah, there's so many main straights here. There's so many heavy braking zones. On board with M. Whitford in the number 86 McLaren, we saw him there. So I think those newer tires are really coming to effect, and it is only a couple of seconds that you are sacrificing. But yeah, as previously mentioned, there is only 2 mandatory pit stops within this race. You don't have to change anything if you don't want to, but it is recommended. Now we are seeing that I think the first car is lapped. A Petite just comes out behind M. Whitford, so that is going to be dropping him a lap behind automatically, and that's pretty unfortunate for A Petite because he was I think in 13th and now has to deal with a couple of blue flags and really pass the leader and also get back to the back of the pack at the moment. So he's really got to be aiming for the Lexus of L. Cochran in the 123 Lexus at the moment. But he has got 1 pit stop out of the way. It's about 20 to 25 seconds, I would say, for a pit stop window. So if he gets those out of the way now, which he might, he could be in a good position. But he would have to be in a 50-second pit window, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too good with math or strategy.
I think
so
I'm not sure how long it takes to go through the pit, but you only have to do a freaking stop and go when you're in the pit.
yeah, say 25 seconds, maybe.
We got a 3-way battle for 5th place right now. It looks like.
Yeah. So that's Case Saranko chasing after Hermozilla in the 130. Or rather, no, Hermozilla was there. Sorry, Saranko.
Oh, Saranko
'cause
and Kenny overtook Hermosilla at the same time.
Indeed. The standings are a bit janky sometimes, but they often smooth themselves out, I think, 1 or 2 minutes into the race. So Saranko and Kenny Powers, both drivers starting with a K, both in very structurally different cars. One in a McLaren, a lot more downforce, a lot more aerodynamic, and one on a Lexus, very good in the corners, not too much in the straights, but with the slipstream is going to be quite good. They're going to see these 2 drivers really battle it out for 5th place. So Saranko really defending here, doesn't really need to defend, but is going to be thinking about it because Kenny is approaching at that speed. But the main issue is it's going to be a bit of a trade back with what happens, because if Saranko gets behind, then he's going to go ahead because obviously the car is more aerodynamic. And as we can see, Kenny Powers in the number...
Like he's trying to launch here. Yep.
Trying to launch one. He's going down the outside of him. Does he go down the outside? No, he doesn't. Oh, it was very close. But I think both cars really grinded to a halt there. You could really hear the brakes just screeching at that point. That was quite interesting. But I mean, he is getting desperate, and Case Saranko is not really wanting to let go. So if he can do that for, I would say, the next hour, he's gonna have to do it. But I think Kenny Powers is getting a bit impatient, just going off into the grass there. Nothing too major, but is just trying to make up time and overextend, as I like to say, But yeah, I mean, so far so good. 4 tenths separate them.
Yeah, right now we have a lot of battles all over the track as I'm watching.
Even a battle for the lead, I think, and there is, yeah. So L. Fassler, the man who was in P1, currently trying to reclaim P1, 7 tenths away from the McLaren of M. Whitford. So both of them haven't stopped. Obviously, it's only been 3. No, it's been a couple of minutes in this race. I think 5 minutes in this race. 8 minutes in this race to be more precise. But as it stands, L. Fassler currently chasing down M. Whitford. Ooh, a bit of a flight for Aston Martin. Yeah, there are wings on the Aston Martin, and they were partnered with Red Bull, but not
it did look like he was
going
to fly away there.
You have to really be careful over those curbs, because those curbs are are quite high, and if you do go over them, the main thing is that while you can gain some time on especially the lower curbs, you don't want to send your car into the stratosphere, you know.
I think it might be worse to avoid them because the tire pressure loss from that might be.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna see like some sort of puncture at the end of the race if you keep doing that.
Good, because those curbs they're rounded edge curbs. They are quite high and they're quite volatile as well. So the main thing is you'll want to avoid them if you can, but if you can't, then you gotta control the car on them. Because you can even see El Fassler, even on these supposedly flat curbs, the back of the car is really wobbling a lot, you know, really being disturbed.
Sorry to bore you, but we still have a fight between Car and Powers on 5th place. They are
so
really tight.
What we like to say in racing are really tight battles going all the way up until the end. So currently it's only been 10 minutes so far, and we've had, I think, a battle for the lead, and we've had a battle for the points paying positions at the moment. But Kenny Powers really has the ability and has the speed, but Soranko's just really good at defending, and Kenny is being quite careful and quite optimistic because he can send one down the inside and whatnot if he really wants to. I think he has the speed, unlike Soranko at the moment, but Soranko is doing some brilliant defending and doesn't want to let that position go at the moment. He's not focusing in front like I think Soranko typically does in a lot of league races that I follow him in, but he's mainly looking behind at the moment, and that's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, I think you're right. They're going to lose a lot of time from staying in this battle for too long. They're going to lose a lot of time from this. And I think
Ken.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was my bad.
I was going to say, like, if you look at the bottom, there's plenty of drivers that have taken one pit stop now. At least 5, I think.
Yeah, so we've seen the bottom 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the bottom 5. So that is T. Balikaya, A. Petit, D. Hammerstedet, L. Cochran, and E. Baumgarter. So Baumgarter. Sorry, my apologies. Sorry if I butchered your name throughout all of the the drivers. In a nutshell, I'm not very good with pronouncing things. They've all taken one pit stop, so. Some have opted for a tire change, some have been there for repairs, some have been there to just get the early jump on individuals. Ooh, Kenny Powers! Yeah, we really saw him try to break late, but Soranko
he just
broke
took out
even
that
later.
cone right there.
Yeah, that is quite unfortunate, but we can see how close he is to Soranko at the moment, but we can't see him overtaking. I think Kenny Powers potentially has speed to challenge the top 5, but I would say top 4. Rather.
If we look a little bit further back in 12th place, there's the battle for first place in the amateur class. It looks really tight between the top amateur class there. Like the top 4 amateur classes within 2 seconds of each other.
Indeed. So that is, I think, K. Sweeney, K. O'Keefe, A. Zawadzki, and R. Morton. Yeah. So it's Ferrari Zawadzki. Is that right?
Let's just call him Z.
All right. AZ in the number 69 Ferrari, though I did not intend that to rhyme. That did certainly do at that time. So currently a 1, 2, 3 in the amateur class at the moment for the Ferrari team, so hopefully the people at Maranello will be quite pleased about that. So we have first penalty at the moment, a drive-through penalty for S. Pasadenas in the number 71 Bentley. So like he has a drive-through.
Track limits.
That happens quite a bit because you really want to gain as much time as you can here, but the issue is this is like, I would often describe this track as the Belgian Monza. You can't really gain a lot of time here because it's such a fine track to do so. You're essentially braking, I would say, identical to how everyone else brakes in front of you. You know, everyone, I guess, takes
I mean,
relatively the same line.
It's
in that
really
sense.
it's really hard to get later on the brake than anyone else in this track. Because if you do, you're gonna fly off.
It's the main thing. There isn't like lots of runoff. There isn't lots of paved runoff where you can afford to do so. Though there is to an extent. We see some gravel and some grass, which for these cars, sure they can handle it and whatnot, but it's not a healthy trip for a lot of your car parts, especially your suspension and your tires, because once you get onto the gravel, your tire pressure starts to drop quite fast. So
yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of traction and a lot of debris gonna get on the track, and yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of time.
it's a whole mess, really. Doing so, but currently as it stands, we are seeing a lot of cars pit about 15 minutes into the race. So they're thinking maybe we last these tires for the hour, or put on new tires around the 30-minute mark, or something like that. But a lot of drivers, I think we've now seen a total of drivers from positions 15 to 21. So they've all taken their first mandatory pit stop, yet to take their second one. As Pasadenas in the number 71 Bentley has another mandatory pit stop, but this time it's a drive-through penalty, so he takes it this lap, goes into the pits, and that's going to leave Case Saranko and Kenny Powers, and also the individuals in front of him. I think that's definitely a blue flag. Yeah, that is a blue flag for T. Balikaya in the number 51 Porsche. So as Pasadenas drops down to 6th place, I think it's halfway down the pit lane at the moment, seeing the other cars taking their mandatory pit stop. So he's going to be at a bit of a disadvantage, but at least those tires get to cool, and especially with the Bentley, we've seen how fast those rear tires can get worn out.
Oh yeah. There was, it was Morton that I talked to earlier before the race, and he mentioned that he might be actually going with a no pit stop strategy, just 2 stop and goes, like no tire change, maybe fuel, but
fuel's always helpful to have, really.
Yes. But he was thinking of doing the no tire change strategy and gain some advantage and then just defend for the last part of the race. So it's going to be interesting to see about how that's going to play out.
Well, when you think about that, see, GT racing, and this is not really a lot of endurance. A lot of people will classify this as endurance, but it's not necessarily, because it's not over the pace of a couple of laps. This is a time limit, so people can really play this however they want to. Sacrificing 6, maybe 10 or 20 seconds for tires is terrible in the short term, because that is a position or two, and it isn't really hard to overtake on this track, because to an extent it is, because there's not much runoff. We're seeing huge battles right now. We're seeing a huge pile up, I think, from 6, and then down to already, I think that's P9 on one pack at the moment. Obviously with traffic and blue flags and whatnot being waved, and that's being led by T Hermosilla in the 130 Ferrari at the moment. That very nice black and red livery. That is amazing. Yeah, it says the no swear zone. Well,
it looks
keep sure to do.
Looks like Kenny is up on right behind Saranko again and trying to overtake.
You see that Kenny has the pace to be in 4th place or even higher up of the grid, and I think once Saranko, I guess eventually either comes into the pits or we see Kenny Powers in freer. I think that's going to be quite a treat, because he could potentially challenge the top 3 as it stands at the moment. Case Saranko and Kenny Powers both come into the pits. Obviously, Kenny had time to react there. Doesn't go for the undercut nor the overcut. So they're both coming into the pits at the moment, bumping each other a little bit. So I don't know if that'll be that at the stewards, but this does give an opportunity for some cars to unlap themselves if they're near the pit lane. But yeah, it's going to be fuel for sure, repairs for sure if they're major.
Yeah, Caro had an incident with, was it Fuldaci at the start of the race?
It was, yes. It was the BMW that was I think spun around, and he's currently in P9, so it was a decent recovery, I would say so.
I also think we've lost one of the drivers.
That's unfortunate.
Hopefully not due to...
We see M. Tarosaki in the Audi, the 420 Audi, taking a bit of a trip to the grass and gravel, and as we previously mentioned, that is not a place you want to be within any circumstance, unless you're planning to do some gardening for the circuit, which I don't think anyone of these drivers has dropped from P7 down to P8 at the moment, has gotten overtaken. So that's pretty unfortunate, and that's really going to be, I think, one of the big hindrances for individuals who haven't pitted, because their tires are going to be, as you mentioned, they're like pennies, they're like ice, you know? So they will, unfortunately... Ooh, we see... Sorry to cut into my own conversation there, but and that's M. Taro Whiskey in the number 420 Audi at the moment, really getting it all wrong. So I think those tires are overheated from getting, you know, onto the grass, onto the sand at the moment. But I mean, if we discuss the no pit stop strategy, then that's, I think, involuntarily going to be hurting the driver, as we see. Oop, does he come into the pits? No, he doesn't. He was thinking about it, but then he slowed down eventually. The main thing is, if you don't pit, then you only save about 20 seconds in total, right? But then you get new tires, so it's a bit of a trade-off. It's a bit of a sweet spot. Fuel, I think, is going to be something that's going to be on the drivers' minds, because if they don't want to fuel conserve, especially on a part of the track where it's so speed, there are so many main straights, you know, places where you can go flat out. It's, again, as I mentioned, the Monza, the Belgian Monza, so you are really going to want to invest in the fuel, because if you're fuel saving, yeah, you might be lighter, but you're also going to have to coast a lot of the place. And if you're in the lead, for example, and you know you are not you know, going full throttle all the time, it's really gonna hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, as it stands, looking at the leaders, that is M. Whitford in the number 86 McLaren, 14 laps already completed in this race, about a 2-second gap to El Faster, the man who was in the lead, the number 27 McLaren. So he's about 2 seconds back at the moment, and he's dropping back. He was challenging for the early lead, but I think it's now going to be more case of strategy than it is going to be case of pace. So if El Faster, you can get a... Yeah.
It looks like we have James Pendry trying to overtake... Who is it? Is it
Hermosilla in the Ferrari, and he does do that. So I think Hermosilla really kept the door open there. But James Pendry, the number 70.
It has to be.
Yeah, indeed. I think it was another Ferrari.
Yeah, it was
that was leading
Hermosilla's
pit.
teammate.
Indeed. So I think they've got this pretty in control down at, you know, the Ferrari garages at the moment. But currently it stands, we see Jay Pendry in the number 73 Audi, who's overtaken Hermosilla, left the door wide open. Also, potentially is going to be overtaken by another one of the back markers at the moment. I think that is P. Fuldaci, currently in the back, but I think that's one of the back markers physically on track. That's behind them.
Fuldaci is in 6th place.
And, oh, rather, sorry, shall I say, that's in reference to overtake Hermosilla, because Fuldaci is actually catching up quite fast, but I think he is going to be challenged by another one of the Ferraris, though it just may be a back marker, and I was, I think I was correct on
does
that.
look like a back marker, I think.
Indeed. So, looking as it stands at the moment, M. Whitford in the... Sorry for the interruption right there. I just got a bit of noise to cancel out. As it stands, number 86 McLaren currently leading this race. and I mean, not doing too bad of a job. So 2.3 seconds to Al faster in the number 27 Aston Martin. So now's the time where I think it's really going to be dying down, and traffic is going to start to appear about 25 minutes into this race. So
If we
not
look
too
at,
bad.
If you look at the pit stops right now, we can see that half of the grid has taken their pit stops, and like that top half still have their pit stops to go. So it's
So from
going to be interesting to
20.
see after the shuffle where everybody ends up.
So from 10 to 20th, everyone's taking their pit stop. The issue is, though, the top 10 runners have enough of a gap to go for a pit stop. So it'll be shuffle, I have no doubt about it, especially if we see some monster in and out laps. But more to the fact of there is going to be not much of a shuffle, because the bottom 10 have already pitted, but the top 10 have, I think, more of a gap than like
The
to
pit stop
for
would say.
20 to 25 seconds, depending on if they went for fuel, if they went for a drive-through, if they changed tires. It really depends on the individual, especially if this is a safety car that comes out as well. So if that comes out, that changes the entire tide of the race.
I don't believe we have a safety car.
Well, if there's a full course yellow or a yellow flag or some traffic for the leaders, and that's something that slows them down essentially, that's going to shake the tide of the race. So we have, I think, one of the top 10 now pitting, so that's Tarkovsky in the number 420 Audi, the man we were following previously before, had a couple of trips into the gravel, now pitting. So is going to be, I think he's going into his pit box, so it's going to be fuel and potentially a tire change as well.
It is going to be interesting to see where he ends up, because he's in the bottom of the guys that have not pitted, and wherever he gets out, most likely all the cars that have not pitted are going to be in front.
I do think that was a quick pit stop, so that was mainly just fuel.
I think
It might-
have just
yeah.
been a stop and go as well.
Yeah,
that was
might have
really
just done that. I think that was even fuel. It might have maybe been 1 to 2 liters of fuel at most, but no tire changes. If individuals are confident, they can take these tires to the end.
Oh yeah, as we saw
Yeah.
in round 1, Lucas Fessler tried to do the stop and go strategy without changing tires, and it was a big mistake on Spa, but how it would work out on this track is it might be a strategy that works, because it might be hard to overtake if you're a good defender.
And that's one of the big things that we see Lucas Fassler, obviously in the number 27 Aston Martin, trying to overtake the number 86 McLaren, but he's losing time. The main thing though is with Spa here, Spa's a track with quite high tire wear. You know, it's a track where you're going to need every source of grip that you can find, because Spa is a track that's so fine and has so many corners that you're really going to need any advantage you can gain. This track though, however, at Zolder, it's interesting because there's a lot of main straights. There are heavy braking zones, there are turns, I'm not denying that at all, but there are a lot of times where you can put your foot through to the maximum throttle, and that's one big thing. So it's just like, say, as I mentioned, I call it the Belgian Monza. Then a lot of individuals will probably stop once they have a puncture, but individuals can go the distance. That'll be good. What's your point to that, though? Is in fact, if it's mainly straight lines, if it's mainly a lot of turns, and we see that Saranko gets past, I think one of the back markers, that was Hoffman in third place.
Just as you mentioned that, we see that James Pendry is going into the pit lane as well.
Indeed. So we'll see what James Pendry is doing, because James was quite impressive. I'm just on board with him now. Going into his pit box, has stopped. This car, it's stationary, so I'm going to assume he's in there for fuel and repairs at the least, because they do at the same time. Tire change, it would be interesting.
I think he stopped at 440 or at 46. How about? didn't count his time in the pit bar. It looks like it's going to be a 30-second, and I believe 30 seconds is what it takes to change tires.
Is going for that tire strategy because you can gain a lot of time on new tires here because it is straights and there's only so much defending you can do on a straight, you know, sort of thing. But James Pendry, currently at the moment, number 73 Audi, currently in P9. Case Saranko, just passing start finish line, so he's just lost the place to that. I think that is new tires and that it is new fuel and repairs as well. So he is, I guess, the triple threat in terms of pit stops. Come out P10 at the moment. We'll wait till the standings update. Yeah, so that's P12 from P7. It's not too bad. Only a couple of positions lost, but he's gotten everything out of the way. He can take these tires to the end. He's got to worry about fuel and repairs now.
If you look at the amateur class, Rocky Morton is the only driver that has not yet pitted. So it looks like what he told me earlier before the race, that he might be trying to go for a no tire change strategy and just do 2 stops and goes at the end of the race.
Well, we'll see how that works out. Obviously, the number 44 Porsche, currently P7 overall, and is doing quite well. So we'll see what happens. I'll definitely follow him on. As I say that, though, onto the gravel goes R. Martin.
Contact at the turn 1.
You can see some wave flags, and that is L. Cochran in the 123 Lexus. Contact with
and
potentially
the Mercedes, it was.
the C. Robertson in the 689 Mercedes at the moment. So contact between those two. That is a bit of a yike. I saw some yellow flags over there, but that's definitely that some individuals spun around.
Yeah, I was following Cara because he was gonna lap them, but they took themselves out before he could do anything.
Speaking of individuals who were involved in a collision, P. Fuldacey in the number 711 BMW is now pitting, so I think that is the full 30-second stop. He has been stationary for quite a while. So that BMW also going for a spot of fuel, some repairs, and a tire change as well. So
and
currently,
Powers are going in now as well. I think Powers is taking his last pit stop already.
Powers is in a very good position to win this race.
He's definitely going to finish very high. He might definitely win silver class. That is for sure.
Saying that because we've seen his pace, and if he pits for tires now, it's going to hurt him now, sure. But we've seen his pace, and he is the first driver to have no pit stops, meaning he can theoretically go to the end. Fresh tires, fresh fuel, and repairs done. If there's no drive-throughs, there's no, unscheduled incidents, so to speak, he is out of there. At least I would say to get to the end, he's gonna need that fuel. That's for sure. So he's pitting for fuel at the least, and for the most, he's doing with tires. Fuldacey,
I believe he might be repairing from that incident in the start of the race.
His repair. I mean,
he has been in for a long time now.
So I think the jacks have just released. He's out of there. So that could potentially be the fact of, has he pitted for tires? I think he has. So Kenny Powers, in P11 as it stands, the first driver to finish their pit stops and can now go on to the end of the race. So P12, as the updated standings are there, behind P13, because the standings are still updating at the moment, behind D. Hammerstedt in the number 9 Lexus. So Lexus behind Lexus. The only issue is that D. Hammerstedt has not pitted for his last pit stop yet. The individuals who aren't pitted, so that's people from 1 through 6, and also P. Fuldacey.
Oh, we got 3 wide on the start straight.
Right on the start straight. So that is
Petit and
Tarakowski.
Oh no, that was a lap car.
Cochran.
That was a lap car.
Yep. That's Cochran. Cochran is in the Lexus, was involved on that incident at the start-finish line. But we do see battle for 7th at the moment as Pasadenas and Petit, so the Bentley and the McLaren, two very structurally different cars. One's very good in the corners, one's very good in the straights. Currently approaching the straight at the moment, a Petit really using that McLaren power to his advantage. He's going to have to yield.
He has gained a lot of time from his starting incident that he had. So he's on really good pace.
And knowing that he only has one pit stop left, it's going to be quite interesting. I think we saw a Petit in P19 at one point, P20. He was last of the pack, and now he's,
I think
battling
he
in
was the
top
first one
10.
to pit as well.
Yeah, he was the first one to pit. The number 97 McLaren currently chasing after the number 71 Bentley. So it stands. I mean, the only issue is that Pasadenas at the moment is really hindering Petit. So if Petit pits now, he's going to be undercut. But if he's going to want, I think, the box opposite. Because the main thing is, I think we want to see Petit's pace in clear
Rocky
air.
Makes contact with one of the Ferraris.
Is Rocky Morton in the
Rocky
number
Morton.
44 Porsche. So he, as you mentioned, was telling me about not pitting at the moment. I think those tires are really starting to affect. So I don't know.
I didn't see what the camera. I just cut the camera to him, and I didn't really see what happened. But he made contact with Ferrari, maybe number 6, black and red and yellow Ferrari.
We are seeing a lot. I don't think that pit stop strategies. R. Morton bump with the barriers at the moment. I don't think they are. I don't think the tire strategy that R. Morton described is really gonna work, because I think as it stands at the moment, those tires are really starting to go off.
It looks like he's struggling a bit.
So into the pits goes R. Morton. Nope, staying out goes R. Morton.
We have a Albon trying to launch on the inside. Oh my god! Albon just launched on the inside into the pits on the Bentley.
Amazing, I tell you.
That was a bit of dangerous driving right there.
Yeah, I guess the stewards will have to take a look at that in a nutshell. But currently as it stands, we are seeing, I mean, we want to see racers really battle it out, even if they are going to pit. Still want the smallest advantages that you can get. So we see a Petit in the number 97 McLaren. They're pitting at the moment. I think that is going to be a spot of fuel, definitely repairs, and some tires to carry them on. But really looking at R. Morton, I think he's the individual with the biggest disadvantage on the racing track at the moment. Because as it stands, he's not pitted at all. Though he's in P6. Struggling. Did you just see the back end just give out on him? It's ridiculous.
I don't know what's going on with Foldacey, but he's sitting. He's 3 laps behind now.
Odd, because I've seen him in the pits, so those pit stops should be cleared. However, it doesn't say that. Yeah, so we've seen.
Oh, Rocky's
Foldacey.
going into the pits. Rocky's doing his pit stop now. We're gonna see if he does a quick one or if he changed tires as well.
With 30 minutes left into the race, he's gonna have to make up the time to go for another pit stop and then go again. So that's gonna be a bit of a double whammy, so to speak. But as mentioned previously, it is gonna be quite interesting. Rocky Morton getting some cheerings in the chat, getting a bit of cheering from my friend Lucy from university. How's it going? Hope you're doing all right. Our Rocky Martin in the pits. Long stop. Maybe though those tires are gonna get changed. Maybe he's gonna just put the new tires on for the last couple of stints. We only see 4 drivers at the moment, so the 4 drivers in green. So they're the ones that have fully completed their pit stops. I think the individual who is the most advantageous at the moment, who has the pace to challenge for the top 3, Kenny Powers
Oh yeah.
in the number 5 Lexus. I would say that is a fact. Elfaster,
Kenny is the highest driver at. Oh wait, no, Whitford.
M.
is
Whitford,
clearing his pit stop now as well.
the number 86 McLaren.
Whitford is already out of the pits as well.
So that is his pit stop then. He can go to the end.
Whitford looks. Oh, Fessler takes his first pit stop as well.
So Elfaster currently in the current P1, obviously position-wise, but we do see C. Hoffman, so the individual who was challenging him, during the first section of the race, and actually built up a bit of a 2-second gap to him. He's currently in P2. However, we'll see what happens when the standings update, as he hasn't taken his pit stop, so he's gonna gain those times. M. Whitford, Kenny Powers, individuals who have really, are in the top 10 with 1 or less pit stops to go, have the chance to battle it out. The points, like the major big points paying positions.
I do believe Alban Petit might be in the top end fighting as well, because he has gained a lot of time from the start.
If we look at this at a strategist point of view, we can see that he is going to gain Ferraris and the number 9 the number 9 Lexus gonna be tricky. If you can gain it, sure, that'd be great. So the number 9 Lexus is gonna be interesting. So he's gonna gain places of the individuals ahead of him. Actually, no, gonna gain 2 places. So that's O'Keefe and Baumgartner. So the number 91, number 22 Ferrari, but not the number 69 Ferrari. Oh, never mind, because I think timing screens were all over the place. It really depends on the pit stops you're going for. I'd say to get in and out of the pit lane is about 15 to 20 seconds, and to do a stop with tires and fuel, and depending on how much damage you have, it's going to be more. But I would say to pit in, to pit out, it's 10 to 15 seconds approximately, because you never really know. There are mandatory pit stops, but there are no mandatory tire or fuel changes within the whole thing.
Indeed, and that's what makes the race so much more intriguing, because the field gets mixed and how do you say it in English? Mixed and matched.
Mashed and mixed, yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
So there's a lot of overtakes, a lot of close fighting, and yeah, it just makes the races a lot more interesting.
It does. T. Hermosilla in the 138 at the 130 Ferrari. I'm not too sure why it's 138 in my mind. Comes into the pits to serve his first of his 2 pit stops.
Oh no! Oh, Kenny Powers and Dave Hammerstead had contact.
That is brilliant.
Both of them hit the wall, but they managed to keep it on track after.
Good to
I'm
hear.
wondering if that damage is gonna. That is not good for Powers, because he's already taken all his pit stops. Hammerstead still has 1 pit stop where he can stop and repair.
So it might just be a bit of an unexpected pit stop. Kenny. Oh, and that is a stop and go for the 130 car. That is a 30-second stop and go penalty for T. Hermosilla.
He must have
just entered the pits.
He must have
Just entered the pits and now has to go back into the pits. Sorry to interrupt you twice over there, but it's currently being overtaken by the Bentley. It's 71 Bentley of S. Pasadenas at the moment. That is not good for the 130 Ferrari driver at the moment, but I think we can build up a lot of places. This isn't going to cost to their pit stop. Actually, no, it is going to cost their pit stops. It's going to be a longer pit stop. If they don't want to change tires or anything, it could just be a way to serve their pit stop and also, serve the penalty. We see D. Hammerstead, so I think the damage was significant enough, or at least that collision was significant enough for him to pit. Currently in P10 at the moment, going into his pit box, stop on the marks, and we'll see what happens.
Indeed. don't know how much damage he got from that, but it looked like a pretty hard hit to the wall. I don't think Kenny's gonna take a pit stop, no matter how severe his damage is. 'Cause he's just gonna lose way too much time on that.
Sometimes you really just want to go to the end and see what happens.
If you look at right behind Kenny Powers right now, Carl Soranko is closing up on him as well. So this could be a battle to the end.
Both drivers have taken their pit stops. Both drivers, are in a similar driving ability. I think they were both battling at the moment. So we'll see what happens. Currently, as it stands, though, Franco chasing after Kenny Powers.
I'm looking at their best times, and Kenny Power is half a second. His best time is half a second faster than Caro. But this lap was 129.5 for Kenny and 128.9 for Caro. So Caro is a half a second faster than Powers right now.
Fair enough. And I would agree. And there are no pit stops separating them, so there's not, either one of them has to serve a pit stop. It's more to the track of Kenny's really hoping the traffic stays behind him, and Soranko wants traffic ahead of Kenny to slow him down. But as we can see, I don't think the traffic was too bad for Soranko really passing that Ferrari, the number 69 Ferrari of Zawadzki at the moment, who's currently in P16 and has served all of his stops. But we're going to see what happens. Gap is currently 4.1 seconds, so we'll see what happens. Obviously 29 minutes plus an extra lap in this race to go, and we will see what happens in a bit. So currently as it stands, the entire field, bar P Full DC, T Hermosilla, L Faster, and C Hoffman have all done their pit stops. And as I said, L Faster goes into the pit lane, serves his final pit stop, 29 minutes in the race to go.
He's 26 seconds ahead of Whitford as well. So this is going to be a really tight... This is going to be really tight between Whitford and...
Or is a drive-through penalty for Case Sweeney, I think, due to track limits. And that's quite unfortunate for the number 6 Ferrari driver.
Oh, Fessler,
really depends.
Fessler loses. Yeah, Whitford already passed him.
Or has passed him.
Yeah,
but we have
Fessler
seen...
lost a lot of time on his strategy in the pit there.
However, if you think of this, I think Fessler has at least the pace for P2, because we did see him overtake Whitford in the opening stages of this race. So we'll see what happens. Ooh, is that pit lane entry? Because I think we did see him just slide over the pit lane, the entry onto the white line. Yeah, that was we saw the rear end really snap due to those colder tires, but we'll see what happens at the moment.
See what the marshals say about that.
Hopefully the marshals will be firm but fair on him. At the moment we see Case Sweeney pitting for his drive-through penalty. The drive-through is cleared. He can go now to the end on that set of tires and that set of fuel if he wants to, unless he wants to make another pit stop. L Fassler could potentially catch M Whitford, but we'll see what happens. They'll definitely both catch Hoffman, because Hoffman,
he hasn't
pitted. His tires look to be okay, so it could just be 2 very fast pit stops or 1 tire change and whatnot. But we'll see what happens. As the clock's ticking down, it's gonna be interesting. It really is, because
the AM class right now is looking interesting as well, because Rocky Morton is the only one that has not made a pit stop, and he's already down to 2nd place.
We've already seen. I think we discussed Rocky Martin. Obviously, went for a bit of a trip through the gravel and then the grass as well, and it is pretty unfortunate. But are we gonna see? Because I think we did see him pit for tires, so really reversed on that particular strategy. Now he can take these tires to the end, that's for sure. But the question is, when is he going to pit? Because he doesn't have much of a gap. If he does a quick pit stop for fuel, maybe repairs, or maybe none of that at all, he can potentially maintain his P2 in his class and 12th overall as it stands.
As we...
A couple of drivers. Sorry, to interrupt. Go ahead.
I thought we had a battle going on, but it looks like there's a little bit of a gap between Hermosilla and Tarkovsky still.
Yeah, so looking at it at the moment, we do see Tarkovsky in the number 420 Audi. So technically, sorry, a bit of a voice crack. Technically speaking, Tarkovsky is in the net P9. However, we are seeing Hermosilla really defending in that position. So he's got a pit stop to make. So has Jay Pendry, so has S. Pasadena, so has C. Hoffman. So we have 4 runners yet to fully complete their pit stops. Hermosilla goes in, as I say, to complete his pit stop at the moment. 25 minutes in the race left to go. R. Morton, the number 44 Porsche, currently in P12. Does he also follow Hermosilla into the pits? No, he doesn't. Stays out. For another one.
Contact with one of the Ferraris. I think it's the same Ferrari as Rocky had contact with earlier.
Ferraris have either been on the garage of this is a brilliant race, keep it up, or this is a terrible race, let's just retire. We're seeing a bit of a contrast, but Ferraris are very popular, whatever class they're in at the moment. So that's good to see. Ferraris are very historic, very fast car typically. So
I believe there was 7 Ferraris signed up and 6 McLarens. So McLarens and Ferraris are pretty much dominating.
McLarens, Ferraris, Porsches, Audis. We see a lone Mercedes there. You know, the number 689.
And I also believe that is the old Mercedes, the 2015 one.
Oh, so I mean, he's not doing too badly in P17 at the moment. Hopefully, he gets some better results. Jay Pendry, the individual in the number 73 Audi, goes to pit, serves his final pit stop, and is green. So he goes, currently exits P7 in the pit lane, but we'll see what happens because standings haven't been fully updated at the moment. R. Morton in the number 11 Porsche, does he get the opportunity to pass Pendry? He does not. Pendry comes out of the pits and is in P7 as it stands, is very tight with the car next to him, but luckily it doesn't go over the white line and stays ahead. So P7 as it stands can go to the end of the race of this race. S. Pasadenas and C. Hoffman, they're the ones yet to pit. They're the ones to keep an eye on. So everyone has pitted except for 3 runners. So that's R. Morton. We see the S. Pasadenas and C. Hoffman in the Ferrari, the Porsche, and the other Porsche as well. 23 minutes of this race to go. Who will be victorious?
Cara has been closing in on powers, but it's not enough if he wants to catch him. He's still lacking a lot of... He needs to speed up if he wants to catch him before the end of the race. As it looks right now, Caro and Kenny Powers are pretty much doing the identical times each lap.
Fair enough, but when you think about it, these individuals I think will be promoted at least 2 positions due to Pasadenas' and Hoffman's pit stops. So, I mean, the most they can do right now is really keep the car on track, and though Powers did suffer some damage, he is good to go to the end of the race, and so is Soranko at the moment as well, in the number 74 McLaren, shall I say. Sorry, getting my... Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the... I'm noticing that the best times for Cara and Kenny Powers are also like just... I think both of them have 01:28.470 as their exact identical best times right now. And their last lap was 0.1 129.3, and Caro's last time was 128 point like 999 or something like that. So they are
It's amazing.
They are so close.
Well, there is about 21 minutes in this race to go, so I wouldn't say, nothing means nothing. We could see some incredible pace from Kenny Powers or some incredible pace from Case Ranko. Where the pace is, we'll see what happens. I think that we did see Jay Pendry serve their last pit stop at the moment. So the number 73 Audi has come out of the pits P9 and can go back to racing. Two runners have not served their pit stops. Their final pit stops are C. Hoffman and R. Morton. So 20 minutes to go in this race. C. Hoffman.
How far ahead is Hoffman of Whitford, though?
Hoffman just entered the pits, so he's serving his final pit stop. Looking at L. Fassler in the Aston Martin, even if Hoffman puts tires, fuel, damage, he is still going to maintain that P1, the least.
Because like
looking at it,
yeah.
Because he's just entering his pit box now. He's just stopped. Or he's still going. Now he's stopped. Stopping, and he is being held. He's not doing a stop and go. That's for sure. Looking at L. Fast.
Starting straight now.
Start coming up on the starting straight. Has completed his pit stops. It was a fast stop.
I think
Gonna be
overtook him there.
And C. Hoffman maintains the provisional lead on track, as well as the net lead
Is
as
he?
well.
No, he's in.
He does.
He's in second now.
In second, Whitford has passed him. So that is P2 at the moment. L. Fassler, though, not too far behind for Hoffman. So, gonna keep him deep in company. But majority of them are on tarmac. So now it's about taking those tires to the end of the race and seeing what you can do. R. Morton, the number 44 Porsche, the P9 overall. So he will have to take his mandatory pit stop until the end of the race, before the end of the race, shall I say. 18 minutes and 50 seconds to go for the Porsche driver at the moment. And
It's going to be interesting to see if he gets on the podium after that pit stop. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like the car behind him is 30. It's like about 30 seconds, or am I mistaken there?
It doesn't look to be 30 seconds per se. I would say
In the
more,
AM class, I mean.
Okay.
The AM class looks like
No.
it might be 30 seconds.
Say so. I would say so, yes. I mean, it looks to be that Morton's got a bit of a sizable lead, especially doing very well on those tires. He's in P9, so he's fighting with, I think, the class ahead of him as well. So currently, as it stands, not doing too bad. Got a bit of a message in chat from Jimmy Shibboley saying Bentley's game died. He was in P4, so we have lost, I think, a couple of drivers throughout this race. It's pretty unfortunate.
His game died the last race as well. As I'm noticing now, we have lost four drivers.
4 drivers. Yeah, we were up to 21 drivers, and now we are 17 total. And has been interesting, but as it stands, 17 drivers still putting in the laps, still putting in the work, still racing.
It looks like Tom Hanks and Stefanos both lost connection.
That's extremely unfortunate. Extremely unfortunate. It's not a fault of their own, it's just the fault of external stuff, and that's what really gets you sometimes. That's what gets you demotivated. But at least you can tell yourself that you were running a P4, and who knows where you would have been in the race because now that I even noticed it, now it's mentioned in Twitch chat, there's a very distinct lack of a Bentley there, so that's pretty unfortunate. But as it stands, hopefully in the next couple of races they come back stronger and make up for that. At the moment, really now, me personally, I'm watching R. Morton in the number 44 Porsche, seeing if he pits, and when he pits, because that really gives us an indicator of how the field is doing. He's staying out.
We also lost Kara Sorenko.
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate. I'm not sure if there was an incident or if that was. It was most likely connection that was the issue there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. We'll have to see after the race.
Definitely, it's pretty unfortunate that that's happened, but we'll see what is going to happen there, because hopefully it's nothing major. Hopefully, obviously they can't join the race back, but rather join back into the race. But yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate that is usually connection problems, and ACC is a bit janky sometimes. So sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so great. But as it stands, though, and Whitford leading the field from C. Hoffman in the Ferraris, the McLaren leading from the Ferrari, from the Aston Martin man who's on pole, Al Fasser, currently behind Hoffman in the Ferrari, so chasing the individual who was in the lead, currently for P2 overall. Very impressive from the Aston Martin driver. Kenny Powers is 4th, APT is 5th, M. Tarosowski is number 6. That's T. Balikaya in the number 51 Porsche, chasing after Tarowski in the Audi. Now gonna go send one down the inside, potentially. Yes, he does. So the Porsche on the Audi. I was gonna say he was in P7, still is in P7, because Tarowski is now coming back, going now for the outside line, or the inside line. So going for the inside line, Bali
cut a little bit there.
Did, and I don't know if that's gonna be looked on by the stewards. You really want to defend your position as much as possible. Saying that though, Jay Pendry, 8th. So Jay Pendry goes and pushes T. Balikaya onto the grass, and Jay Pendry really desperate. Didn't get an advantage, and to push Balikaya, I think did intentionally slow down for that. Not for this one though. Slows down just the right amount. Moves up into 7th place. So Balikaya, the man who's looking for 6th place, now into 8th. And from 8th place to 9th place, that is D. Hammerstedt. And I think we missed R. Morton going into the pits, so he has completed his pit stop.
And he's still 36 seconds ahead of 3rd place in AM class.
It's really good. Saying that, bit of contact between R. Morton and Zawadiski.
Battle for 2nd place right now. Fassler is trying to overtake Hoffman right now. He's right on his back.
These two cars, they're quite aerodynamic. They're good in the corners. They're good in the straights. They're very all-around cars, both the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. Ferrari obviously having the advantage on the straight as opposed to the Aston Martin in the corners, as we see the Aston Martin potentially overtaking the corner wheel to wheel at the moment down the main straight. It's going to be a bit of a braking zone. Hoffman on Fassler's got the outside, has now the slipstream, so if he's going to get a good exit, he does get a decent exit. Hoffman is across the line, is pulling away, but Fassler has this really cool thing called slipstream, is going to look into the first major braking zone and has to carry that speed, really has to maintain behind Hoffler, as he does try someone down the inside, and Hoffman rather gives him a lot of space. Fassler going down the inside, Hoffman closing the door just when the corner entry is there. Hoffman now on the main straight faster with the DRS Hoffman pulling away at the moment. Now braking. So it is going to be a bit of a battle for the for second place. We'll see what happens.
Only
within
11 minutes left as well. Do you think he can hold off for 11 minutes?
I mean, potentially. It is 11 minutes. It is, you know, it seems like ages in the car.
It looks like Fessler has had some really close calls on overtaking, but not been able to do it. Oh, maybe now? It looks like he got a good run.
Potentially, because we are seeing that Fessler looks out on the outside, doesn't go for the move. Is interesting gonna happen. I mean, I think that Hoffman can hold. Fessler's gonna get a very, very, very good run. That's the main thing.
Is looking really tight. Oh, is he gonna go here? Really? Oh. Oh.
Oh, and he does.
He
Fessler
lowered.
goes down the inside
That is an
of
interesting
Hoffman,
place to
moves
overtake.
into second place. Hoffman, though, comes right back at him with the slipstream. And
I think he's gonna be able to
Fessler
on the
closes the
outside.
door on him. He goes over the sausage curbs, sends the Aston Martin to go claim his wings, and have the horse chasing behind him in terms of the Ferrari. About a tenth away, those two. And Al Fessler cuts the corners a bit too aggressively. I don't know if that's a penalty or not.
Because Albon
and moves
overtakes. Is that a lap car?
I think so. Looking at A
yeah.
Petit in the number 97 McLaren, indeed, that was the lap car that he was overtaking. Drive-through penalty for A Petit,
Oh,
going
no.
over those curbs, now going into the grass. P5. Ooh, that is so unfortunate to get
No
in
luck
the
for
final
Olympus
10
today.
minutes of this. Luck indeed. We got one luck on one side of the McLaren garage and not for the other.
That is some really bad luck for the Olympus drivers today.
It immediately goes in and serves his drive-through penalty. Is indeed to be thing
We
but that
do-
he's gonna have to compensate for.
He might lose.
Loses 6th, loses 7th, he loses 8th, does lose 9th. Looking at A Petit, he might lose 9th. See the
Balikaya.
Hammerstead.
Balikaya overtakes for 7th place now.
So he is currently, A Petit is currently in 8th place at the moment from 5th to 8th, so that's about a 3 position loss. Crosses over the white line aggressively. I don't know if you saw that, but
No,
I certainly did.
we're watching the fight for 7th place right now.
Right.
Balikaya just took it from M. Tarkowski. There's a lot of battles at the end here. Oh,
And we can see that Tarkowski goes into the wall. Oh, that Audi, I think, lost the rear. And I was just gonna comment on how slidey it was.
looks
can
like
see-
his tires might be pretty worn out there.
Yeah, I mean, looking as it, so that is some pretty major damage. That is really going to help A Petit, who is about 4 seconds of drift, can potentially receive the position back. Looking at that damage, is he going to pit? There's about 7 minutes.
I don't think he's gonna.
That is extremely unfortunate.
I'm looking at Rocky Morton right now because he is 3rd place in Amtide is just 1.7 behind right now. And he's lost a lot of time, so he's got to have had some sort of accident.
In looking at him, it seems like his car is fine per se, but
He might have
I mean with
spun or
those tires are pretty worn. He hasn't changed them. I mean he has changed them once, but I think with his driving style, it is getting pretty
I think
worn.
he
But
wears out his tires pretty quick.
yeah,
I'm not sure if that's
especially-
a thing with the Porsche or if that's just a thing with the
Oh.
driver.
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest, because Porsche is
Yes.
pretty heavy braking zone, but he was able to, up until like his major accident, was able to keep the tires in check. Was going for that that one stop, or rather two stop, quick strategy. But I think currently as it stands, tires are really going the way of the wind, and he just wants to get home on these tires. He's 12th overall, and then I think just really wants to maintain his position as a tank because he is under threat from the Ferrari
It does look like
behind him.
he's gaining time right now on the Ferrari. He has been pulling away. It's 2.3 right now. He's gained half a second since. Oh, and
Drive through for the
gets a
Ferrari.
drive-through as well.
So I think we can put that to end to proceedings as the Ferrari gets a drive-through. So we're gonna see him do it in the last 5 minutes of this race as well. That's super unfortunate for a Zawadiski
That
in the number
definitely
69
means he's
Ferrari.
gonna- yeah. That definitely looks like he's going to lose the podium there for M class.
Super unfortunate. I mean, this is a major comeback drive because he can serve it in 3 laps. And looking at the race at the moment, I think there is only about 3 laps left. So the drive-through technically be added to his time at the end, maybe, if you can get past.
I believe if he doesn't take the drive-through, he's going to get a 30-second penalty.
Yeah, that's more hassle than it's
end.
that's more hassle than it's worth in the sense. So we see only about 8 seconds to KO Keefe and to see Robinson as well. Might not be there, so I think taking the drive-through is the
I
right
do think he's
option.
going to be able, or he's going to have to take the drive-through because believe there's you have to take it within 3 laps that you get it, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get 4 or 5 laps out of this.
You're looking at this about 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock at the moment. It looks decent, looks okay for him, but he's really gotta just make as much of a gap as possible. Stands, though KO Keefe has about a 9-second gap to him. Pit lane is kind of long here, and we're seeing him really extend. So now down to the pit entry, so going down the main straight, he's gonna have to make a decision whether he's gonna put it pedal to the metal. He's going to brake, and he is braking, so that means he is gonna really extend on his pit lane, and is going to rather his drive-through penalty has 1 lap remaining, so he's got to be this lap or the 30-second time penalty that's added to him, and that is not what he needs at any point during the race. KO Keefe,
I believe
he's
that might
closing in on him.
I believe that might make him lose 2 positions.
It's pretty unfortunate. We don't want that to happen. So KO Keefe is even catching up, so even if there is a 30-second time penalty, he's not 30 seconds clear of anyone at the moment, minus probably L. Cochran in the 123 Lexus and Sweeney in the Ferrari, but that is a bit I guess ineligible, as he does go on to the stand, so he has to make a decision. Does he want to serve the penalty after the race, hope something happens behind him, move on? Does he need to serve it now, hopes that he can make up the time? He's losing that rear end quite a bit. Maybe that drive-through might help him because those tires may be worn and he doesn't have to do as many laps in them as he could. Going now down the main straight, here's where he's going to make his decision. is going to move into the pit lane, is going to move out of the pit lane,
He's going
to the middle,
into the pit.
going in the pit lane. That is indeed his drive-through penalty being served.
Let's see
And-
where the Mercedes. He's gonna.
He won't. He won't.
No,
The
the
Mercedes
is
won't do it.
Way far back.
There's
What about
one
O'Keefe?
position.
O'Keefe just passed.
Unless the Mercedes is... He is pushing. He's not pushing too badly. Looking at Zawadiski, he might only just lose one position because the gap to the Mercedes was so large. As it stands, in the pits, out of the pits now, only lost one position, safe to the Mercedes, but the Ferrari of O'Keefe has passed him. And with only 45 seconds in this race to go, there's not much he can do. As it stands, M. Whitford going across the line to start. I think now is the final lap of this race, or rather this lap and another lap. This is the final lap, so this is the final lap of this race. M. Whitford in the number 86 McLaren drove a brilliant race today with strategy, with his driving style, and really deserves this win at the moment. L. Fassler, P2, C. Hoffman, P3. Yeah, you were saying?
I was going to say this will be Whitford's second victory this season.
It is well deserved. He played it perfectly, was doing some very good stuff at the start, and really did well. Nothing can really hinder him at the moment, and I think that is going to be some smooth sailing to the end. L. Cochran in the 123 Lexus, we see him. So we see the leader meeting last place. He's defending quite hard though, L. Cochran. So that's going to be taken a look at by the stewards. Lets him go eventually though. So I don't know what that was from them, but hopefully it was going to get resolved. Didn't hinder him too much. M. Whitford can now go down the final of the two main straights within this circuit. One big braking zone to do, can turn the corner, can now see the checkered flag, shifts up the gear, and M. Whitford and the number 86 McLaren, dancing and weaving, wins the race. L. Fassler in the number 27 Aston Martin comes home in a very respectable second place. C. Hoffman, Ferrari, not the result he wanted, the result he got, a podium for him. Kenny Powers is in fourth. Jay Pendry in the Audi, coming across now the last major braking zones on the path to that. So currently as it stands, there is smoke, there is fire and flames and fireworks as it stands. Jay Pendry, last braking zone at the moment. Across the line, finishes in P5 for Audi, the number 73 Audi, very well driven race. T. Balikaya in the number 51 Porsche, P6, A Petite, following him close behind. He's P7. And we're seeing in chat some very respectable comments from the drivers saying it's a great race and it's a very close racing as well. It's a good one to all the drivers, even if you just kept it on track. And we see Petite going into the barriers as a bit of a celebration for ending up in P7. And that rounds up your grid.
That was a very interesting race. A lot of position changes, a lot of mix from the AM class, the Silver class. It was a lot of interesting racing. There was also a lot of incidents, which is a bit of unfortunate.
But that happens a lot within racing, and we always have to see. It's always good to have them. Essentially, to use my words in a way that makes sense. It's always good to have there. So yeah.
some podium. Nice here.
Wonderful.
Green and white checkers in the air.
I don't think we do.
Oh, Michael! Now
Yes, we do.
overshoots turn one.
I
Green.
can't drag him
Three
in.
wide with him.
They're running into each other left and right.
Hi.
How
Go on.
they feel your race went?
It was hard from the beginning, so lost 2 positions on the start, and then from the lapped cars and the traffic, I lost so much time today. And
Well, to recover in the race, though, you know, you started on pole, finished P2 in the end. How does that feel to have the win snatched away from you? Do you feel okay about finishing on the podium still, or did you really want that win?
I really wanted a win, but yeah, I got overtaken in the first corner, and then lost very much time on to Mark in the traffic, and also my pit stops were really shit today.
Yeah, what did you change with your pit stop from last time? Because last time you did a no tire change strategy, and this time what?
Yeah,
was the-
today I tried a little bit safer strategy because of all the curbs and possible punctures, and went for a tire change and also refuel. But yeah, the 2 stops weren't the greatest, so lost very much time there.
Yeah, at least you got a second place out of this.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, because Hoffman there, you guys were fighting quite a lot during the end of the race there.
Yeah, until the first traffic, and then I kind of lost a little bit of focus, made many mistakes, and then I had the battle with Hoffman at the end. Lost a bit of time there, yeah. But great race from Mark.
Yeah, it was a great race to watch overall. There was a lot of good fights. Unfortunately, there was a little bit too many incidents, but Zolder is a pretty tough track to drive. So
Yeah, it is, but it is kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for today, and congratulations on the second race.
Thank you too. Congratulations to all the other winners today.
Oh, yeah. I believe we have Hoffman coming up right now.
Oh.
Hello there, Hoffman.
Hello, hello.
Congratulations on
Yeah,
2 medals
thank you very
today. Silver class first place and 3rd place for overall.
Yeah, thank you very much.
This is a very good race. You and Fessler was fighting there at the end.
Yeah, we were fighting, but I was quite off pace all the race to Whitworth and Fessler. Whitford.
I do
And
believe.
Fessler, like 1 second, but I think I had a different strategy, and that gave me some advantage, so I get up to them in the end.
Yeah, because I think you took all your pit stop in the end because you were one of the last ones to not pit.
Yeah, that's right. And I had a full tank as well, so.
But did you change tires during your pit stops, or did you just do
No, I
stops in
didn't.
those?
I think the other ones did. They have to. I think I had 2 perfect pit stops, and I didn't change tires, so.
Yeah,
that
you
was-
just added fuel.
Yeah, just a little fuel. But in the end, it was too much. That costs me in the end as well, a little bit. But yeah, quite worked out. I think P3 is fine there.
Yeah, it was a nice race.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations on was it 3rd overall and 1st in silver? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations, and hope to see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, let's get. Hey, who came first in? Tahir Balikaya was the one who came first in AM. Hello, Tahir. Can you hear us?
Hello. Hi, Eric. Yeah, I can hear you.
Today I can hear your voice. Perfect.
That's perfect.
So, how do you feel about your race?
Yeah, I'm really happy. Towards the end, it was quite intense. I had some battle with Tarkovsky and a short battle with Pendry or Pendry, I don't remember. Yet I was actually surprised that I ended up so good, because my first stop was horrible. I was punted like 2 times.
Yeah, what
And
was your pit stop strategy?
yeah, normally it was like one pit stop in the middle somewhere, and then one for the worst case towards the end.
Yeah.
But I had to pull the second pit up front. I pitted like after 5 or 6 laps, because I noticed I had like 1 second of off pace of my usual pace.
Oh, you had
So
damage then.
yeah, I really had to repair.
Yeah, well, it worked out for you anyways. You got first in AM class.
Yeah. I guess we could consider switching me up to silver class. I think I can hold some pace.
You can definitely hold the silver class pace. Yeah, we
Yeah.
usually update the classes after half the season. So if there's any like, because you use a car you didn't know and you qualify a little bit worse, then we usually change it after half the season. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, well, good race and yeah, congratulations. I
Yeah,
think this
thank
is
you.
your second.
Yep.
Yeah.
My second win in my class.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you.
And I believe Rocky joined us.
Indeed.
Oh, and he left. You
I
just
think
wanted
drivers really just want to. Yeah, drivers just want to
Oh.
finish, kind of thing.
I think Kieran O'Keefe wants to speak with us. Maybe. Kieran,
Hello.
hey, how was your race? Where did you finish actually?
I think 13th overall and then 3rd on the amateur series.
All right, so you got a podium today. Did you? Where did you finish on Spa? I can't remember.
I think I came 4th on Spa, and
I
then
see.
I was 4th for most of this race, and then I think Alexander Zawadzki, or whatever his name was,
Zawadzki, yeah, the Polish guy.
he was like 8 seconds ahead of me for like 10 laps. And then I don't know what happened, but he got a drive through, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can come 3rd. This is great. I'll just keep this thing on the track. We'll be fine."
Yeah, well, congratulations to your first podium. Is this your first? Is this your first league
Well,
that you race in?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first time I've ever done it was last week, and obviously second time was today.
Yeah, congratulations. It was a really fun race to watch. It was a little bit too many incidents, but Zolder is also a very tough track to drive. So
Yeah, it's a bit slippy.
yeah, but yeah, congratulations, and hope to see you next week.
Yeah, hopefully. Excellent. I'll catch you guys in a bit, yeah?
Yep.
See ya.
Yes.
Take care, man. All right. I think that was everyone. Rocky just ran away. We got scared, I guess.
Scared by our illustrious voices, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. All right. This was it for round 2 on Zolder of Olympus Racing League. Will we see you next week, you think?
I think I'll be there. I'll be happy to be there. It was pretty exciting racing.
Yeah,
So
I think the introduction of the 2 pit stop strategy for such a short race kind of makes it a lot more interesting to see, because there's a lot more overtakes. So.
keeps drivers on their feet, that's for sure.
Oh yeah,
let's say that.
No one really knows where they're gonna finish at the end.
We saw people in like P19, P18 in top 10 overall. So honestly, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting season for sure.
So thank you guys. I always appreciate you sticking around, and until next time, you have a good one.
Yeah, we are signing off, and we are hoping to see you next week. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. and hit the notification bell to know when we go live next. Goodbye, guys.
Green and white checkers in the air. Oh, Michael! Down, overshoots turn one.
Green, green, green. 3 wide hand.
They're running into each other left and right.